What's going on, people? Back with another one.
Yes.
Myself, Lex.
Shub's here.
You know what I mean?
How's everything going, man?
Yeah. How's everything going?
Life has been lifing, innit?
Yeah, man. What? We're in summer now. Work's going well. Obviously, I've started something else as well. New challenge. Don't want to speak on it too much yet. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you know what it is, but fam, just been full on right now. Still, like, it's always on go. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's going good. I can't complain. Still, can't complain, man. Yeah, but that's it really. Just been working, man. A lot of just working.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's summer. We've been going out. Do you know what I'm saying? Enjoying small part of the culture. Do you know what I'm saying? What about yourself?
Yeah, very much the same. Just really trying to make things happen.
Yeah.
Trying to have fun. Trying to relax. Trying to work.
No, facts.
Do you know what I mean? So trying to really balance it. But do you think there's a such thing as balance? What do you reckon?
Do I think there's such thing as balance? I mean, it's all about what you're going after, innit? I think, like, on one hand, I think if you want an easy life, balance is key. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, so let's say, cool, you're working in the corporate world. Do you know what I'm saying? You just want to earn decent bread. Yeah, do you know what I mean? You can go to work, come back and chill out, do whatever you need to do. But then if you're really trying to go full throttle and stretch the pack, then fam, you need to be going hard, like Monday to Friday, sometimes Saturday. Like I know, like IB, bro.
Yeah.
IB sometimes 7 days a week, but fam, the pay is sweet. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like as I said, back to what I was saying, if you want to gain significant traction, you gotta be above average. You can't be doing the same thing everyone else does. So if you're contracted 9 to 5, you got to be doing 9-6, 9-7. Do you know what I'm saying? Showing people, you know, your can-do attitude, showing people that you're willing to go the extra mile, standing out. Do you know what I'm saying? Going against the norm. And I think, yeah, if you're trying to go all out, stretch the pack, then there's no such thing as balance. But then also, I do think that varies industry to industry. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're in the creative industry, right, sometimes you don't even have a chance to switch off. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, like let's say, for example, you're managing a producer or an artist, like sometimes that is 7 days a week. You feel me? So just depends on what sort of life you're trying to have.
No, I definitely get you. I think for me, it's very seasonal. There's like seasons where, for example, winter, grinding season, you're roast, you're growing your hair, you're just locked in. Summer, you kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit. You kind of rest, or you kind of have for example, a lot of people go on holidays. A lot of people just kind of start linking up with people. I guess where with us, it's kind of like we're also out of a lockdown right now. So there's a lot of things going on. You're going out meeting a lot of people. So I think you kind of have some sprints and some times where you're actually just easing off a bit. But I think, like you said, it depends on what you're trying to get as well. My whole thing is for me to live a life I enjoy. So I guess my balance also comes from doing work I want to do. That also doesn't really feel much of work. You know what I mean? Like, for example, today, like, I worked from like 8 to 5. But it didn't really seem much like work because it's like things I enjoy doing. But if it's like you said, if I'm kind of doing a job that I don't really like, but I got to really put myself ahead of everyone, it's kind of hard to. It's like I got to like fully commit to this. It's something I don't really like, so I got to push and use a lot of brain power to kind of get to that space. But like you said, depending on what type of role you're into, what type of job you're into, or even what type of life you're trying to build, a lot of things, for example, going out for meetings, taking calls, a lot of that could just feel like this is what you enjoy doing anyway. So it might not feel too tasking for you. And I think
going back to what you said about sprinting, right? Even in a marathon, you're jogging at a steady pace, but then there's some points you might speed that up and then slow it down. And if I'm then relating it back to just like grinding it out, right? You know, you can't just be on go 24/7, 365. You have to stop and recharge.
Also, one thing I noticed as well, though, I've always known this, but I'm very much like telling myself this constantly, that a productive day never looks the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, especially, like, I'm very used to thinking a productivity day is like 5 to 6 hours behind my desk. Do you know what I mean? Just typing away. But a productive day could actually just me going out, getting a sense of inspiration, or speaking to someone, or meeting someone, and I learn one thing that puts me ahead. Do you know what I mean? So it's not always just behind the laptop for hours trying to just do different stuff. Because also, like, in terms of what I'm trying to do as well, it's not much of the technician side. It's more of that strategy side and stuff like that. So I think that's one thing that I'm trying to constantly remind myself, that a productive, like, I could have a great day. For example, even like the deep sessions, I could do like 6 deep sessions on Monday, and Tuesday only do 1, but have a call and I learn something, or I strike a deal through just speaking to someone. So really understanding that not all productivity days look the same as well.
No, I agree with you still, and like I've clocked where a lot of people do a lot of business just over text and WhatsApp. Like the amount of conversations in the past 2 weeks that I've had over text or WhatsApp, I've never been, bro.
Even at a bar, just standing in the tissue. A lot of stuff kind of goes down like that.
I've never been on my phone so much. It's mad. Like, my screen time is through the roof.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's through the bloody roof, mate. But yeah, nah, bro. I think it's just whatever you want, innit? Some people want things simple. Some people want things a bit more complicated. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like want things to be smooth sailing. Some people find comfort in chaos.
I hear you, but I also feel like I heard something today actually, and it was like, it's not meant to be easy, but struggle doesn't come with it. I can't remember what they said, but very much like a lot of people kind of like sexualize being like struggle. Yeah. But we're not actually made to struggle. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Struggle is not always part of the process. Like, a lot of things could be actually done much easier, but people like to, I don't know where it is, but I think it's very much part of hustle culture to struggle, but it doesn't have to be a struggle. Do you know what I mean? Like, even, for example, like bootstrapping and getting an investment. Yeah. Like, if you can get a much better result through an investment, like, some people will turn down investments so they could say they're self-made. Yeah. But it's still reaching the same destination at the end of the day. So I think, like you said, obviously, peace and chaos, and some people want it easy, but also don't think struggle has to be a huge part of success.
But I think struggle comes in many shapes and sizes. Do you know what I mean? So, for example, someone who's not that creative sitting down to do a pitch deck, they might struggle and find that hard. So they might classify that as their struggle. Do you know what I'm saying? In the grand scheme of things, fucking putting together a bit of text and some pictures, it's not that deep. But it just, obviously there's that skill gap. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it just depends. Or if someone's working 9 to 5 and trying to build a business, they might describe their struggle as putting in the extra hours because they can't necessarily afford to pay an intern or pay someone else to do it. Do you know what I mean? So struggling doesn't necessarily mean like you're literally crying blood and working. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get you. I guess my main thing is like, I want people not to equate struggle or how much you struggled with like something to your success. Do you know what I mean? Because like sometimes people may be like, oh, like they had it easy or da-da-da-da, but everyone has their challenges, but also like being successful in general is the obstacle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but everyone likes a success story, man. People
I know, but like everyone's got a success story, bro. Everyone's going through shit. It's just how it is. Some people like to think their shit is bigger than the next person, but at the end of the day, we're all kind of different. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of main thing I'll say.
No, it's true still. So question, so obviously you've been doing your newsletter for some time now. How have you, my question is, how do you find the time to do it?
Yeah. Good question. I think a lot of the time people don't understand that they have a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah.
Like we legit have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And even I think not making it, just simplifying it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At first I used to think, like to do a newsletter, like I need to put so much time aside. I need to keep going back to da 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 da. But legit now, just through building that muscle and constantly doing it, I can actually, as long as I have an idea or some
Yeah.
form of inspiration,
Yeah.
I can do a newsletter in like 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think challenging myself, like I said, when I like and in this week's newsletter, I kind of touched on it. I think when I was thinking to do a newsletter, I wanted to do it bi-weekly.
Yeah.
And that was just me being comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
writing in general was a challenge, but bi-weekly was like, okay, cool. It's not too much. But I think where I really wanted to challenge myself to really grow was by saying, okay, cool, do it bi-weekly
Yeah.
and stick to it.
Yeah.
And obviously starting in November and doing it since is like, to me, has helped me kind of build a lot of like my mental toughness in a sense, just sticking through it, not giving up, because a lot of the time, for example, even nowadays, like we could go out on a Sunday, but the newsletter still needs to be out on a Monday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So even now, managing my time more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, I don't really write my newsletter in bulk, then just send them out. I actually write it the week before.
Yeah.
Because like it's something I'm learning and then putting it in a digestible way for my audience to read.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like understanding how much time I have and putting time aside and making sure I do it. Because one thing that I said like is you got to be accountable for yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to stick to your word.
Yeah.
Like if you break your word to yourself, then you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Once you're able to stick to your word, you're able to kind of improve on your like self-integrity, your self-trust, your self-belief, and self-accountability as well. So I think it's just making that commitment and sticking through it.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people just say, I don't have the time, but you always have the time. Like, and not to be one of those guys saying, but you can binge Netflix and stuff like that, but it's just priorities at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So
at the end of the day, you make time for what you care about.
mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? But how do you go about finding like inspiration? Do you know what I'm saying? Like let's say cool, 1 week you have no idea what you wanna write about. Like what's your process?
I think is just following my curiosity. I think one thing that I'm always trying to build and work on, and this is like legit. Let me explain to you, bro.
Go on.
How I've kind of structured my life is understanding what the top successful people do.
Yeah.
And wanting to replicate everything they do.
So it doesn't have to be in like priority order, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's the top 3 things that you found that successful
I think
people
intellectual curiosity, forever learning, being a student of life in general. So like I said, that's one thing that helps me in terms of how I keep on writing, like say about 40 articles.
Yeah.
Like just through who I follow, what I research, podcasts, I could just go for a rabbit hole and then just start learning something and wanting to put it all together in a way, because it helps me learn as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you're in school, your teacher will say, I'll write notes so you can understand it. That's legit what I'm doing. I'm writing notes. I'll read a book. I'm writing notes just so I'm not forgetting it. And then it's like, okay, cool. This is actually something my readers will actually enjoy and benefit from as well. So this is a way of me actually teaching while learning as well. And then I think another one is like, just self-discipline and self-control. I think how you actually execute on stuff. Like a lot of people have great ideas, but not a lot of people have great execution, or even any execution at all. Do you know what I mean? So making sure you can actually actualize what you have a vision of. Do you know what I mean? And then I think the next skill as well is just like seeing how you can kind of like strategy and being able to kind of connect the pieces together and connect the dots. So for example, if you have a goal, seeing who you need to bring on board to get to that stage, or what things you need to do to get to that stage, and being able to kind of see things that way. So that even comes with like a lot of tenacity and being able to kind of overcome any obstacles that come your way as well. So that's one thing I'll definitely say are the top skills that I'm also trying to learn. And I think a big one as well is just people skills. I think a lot of people underrate how important it is to be like a people's person, to be able to build relationships. Like you said, a lot of deals are made just through phone calls or through text. And like I've also noticed it as well. Like in terms of, for example, in getting clients, a lot of it is just through being in the right places
Yeah,
and speaking to the right people.
I agree.
And it's like, once again, you can really like be doing all the cold calling in the world and all this stuff. But if you put yourself in a position and if you put yourself out there, so many people will start coming to you and gravitating towards you because they know how much value you can offer and stuff like that. And that's also one of the reasons why I started the newsletter as well.
So intellectual curiosity, do you think someone can learn that? Or do you just think you're born with it?
I think, bro, I honestly think we're all just born blank slates and we actually design who we are. But a lot of people don't understand that you can co-design. You can co-design your life. You can co-design who you are. And a lot of people just kind of just live life on autopilot.
Yeah.
So everything that I am now is like a manifestation of me actually wanting to be this person.
Yeah.
I wasn't born this way. Do you know what I mean? And I think just understanding that you have that power, that control helps you kind of get to become that person who you want to be. But a lot of people don't know who they want to be. So they just live life on autopilot and just let society dictate who they are. So any skill you can legit learn. And that's the same thing as intellectual curiosity. Just by reading books, just understanding that everything around you was built by someone.
Yeah.
And that will help you understand that, okay, wow, like that means I can learn a skill, or I can build something, or I can understand how the world works. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just accepting it for what it is.
But I think even to have that thought process of everything was built by someone, like that stems from somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you kind of follow that rabbit hole and think, okay, how was this constructed? How was this built? Why is this word in the dictionary or something like that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I find myself asking the most ridiculous of questions.
But that's the thing. Also, asking questions is part of being intellectual. Being
curious. That's what I'm saying. That's a good back to my point. Like, do you think you can learn intellectual curiosity? Because I think you either have it or you don't.
I think you can learn it. I think it's also you unlearn a lot of stuff. I think when you kind of grow up in the education system, they kind of dictate and project a lot of things onto you.
Yeah.
They very much say, like, for example, it makes it difficult for you to ask questions, or they make education seem like education is only in the classroom.
Yeah.
But life is education. Do you know what I mean? Life is about understanding who you are, learning about yourself, learning about the world, learning about different things, different people, your lover, your children. It's just all about learning. So I think it's understanding that. So like I said, you can learn and you also have to unlearn things. Yeah. For example, you need to be comfortable enough to know that you don't know anything. Legit, like one of the Stoics, like they say, like, all that I know is nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like understanding that you actually know nothing and you should constantly seek to know and seek to understand as well. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's definitely something you can learn, but you just need to have that kind of intention behind it.
Yeah. So off that, right? I'm just trying to structure this question. How do you so obviously, so what you touched on, how do you then make sure that's embedded, within your business? Because obviously your business is a service business, right? So how do you then embed those qualities and embed those thought processes, those rationales in your business and the people that you work with?
For sure. I think firstly, marketing is all about people.
Yeah.
So you have to understand people.
Yeah.
You have to understand that people are different.
Yeah.
You need to understand the psychology behind buying behaviors, why people shop here, why people buy a product, and all that kind of stuff. So it's constantly learning, and people change all the time. Behaviors change all the time. Like back then, the best marketing was underselling.
Yeah.
But nowadays, people actually pay higher for a price because of the perception. Or people pay higher because of the comfort that they get from it, or the convenience.
Yeah.
So it's understanding what motivates people and understanding. So for example, like we said, how do I integrate that into my business is keeping up with the latest things like industry insights. Yeah. So learning from those that are, for example, researchers in certain topics. So being able to kind of stay up to date by seeing what they've learned or what they've, and even just like mentorship as well. Mentorship has been one of the best things that I've kind of done. Do you know what I mean? Just learning and standing on shoulders of giants, like learning from those before me.
Yeah.
Because you can impart so much knowledge and wisdom from them.
Yeah.
And legit is sometimes it's free. Do you know what I mean? And like I say all the time, like it's not even sometimes having a physical mentor. It's just listening to podcasts or listening to a book.
Yeah.
And there's so much knowledge you can get from that as well. So I think it's understanding that, like I said earlier, we're blank slates and we can become the very best we can just through educating ourselves. So whether that's through reading books, reading articles, going down rabbit holes, listening to podcasts, speaking with people. Yeah. That's how you just learn. And also being on the ground as well. Like I need to see how people are acting so it can give me some more insights into how people are, give me some motivation for a campaign or whatever. Yeah. So I think that's kind of how you can integrate it into your business, into your life and stuff like that as well. Yeah,
do you know, on your note about people, I think when was it? It was on my placement year. I was working in sales, and I think that's when I realized that, you know what, everyone is really different. Because obviously working in sales, right? So I was selling protection packages for the company I was working at, and it's like you just got to adapt so quickly. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've realized, like, it allowed me to basically like quickly realize emotional triggers for people. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like using certain languages, using certain body language, certain facial expressions and whatnot. And then fast forward, the book that I've basically been studying, like I've been reading it, but I've been studying it, like, and reading like different pages again and all that stuff, is The Concise Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Brother, that book is serious. Like, it's serious. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily like a challenging read, but it really like breaks down the nuances of the different types of people. So for example, like what is that word? Not a sociopath. Narcissist. There's different types of narcissisms. Do you know what I'm saying? And it breaks down each one and how to navigate each one, how to adapt and whatnot. So yeah, like if you want to study people, that's a book I definitely recommend.
What? Also, I would say, like, how do you feel about reading? Because I feel like there's like the blueprint is on the internet, and the blueprint is in these books, and a lot of people, I don't know, like I think reading is such an essential skill or essential habit to build.
For me, I don't like reading. I find reading quite boring. Do you know what I'm saying? Coupled with the fact that I'm dyslexic, it makes me fucking tired. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's about the residual benefit that it has. So it improves your vocabulary. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, since uni, bro, like there's been bare words that I've just seen. I was like, oh, how can I now incorporate that into when I speak? Do you know what I'm saying? To my dialect, exactly. So I don't like reading, but I force myself, and now I've just built that discipline to just read like 5 to 10 pages whenever I read. Like, bro, after the second page, I'm falling asleep. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get that's very interesting as well, because
it's essential.
Yeah. So obviously in New Month now, and everyone, I just saw a tweet saying like it takes 21 days to build a habit. Yeah. And like, you know me, I'm always talking about habits, right? Yeah. And it's like reading is a habit I've definitely built over time, because I've managed to read about a minimum of a book every month, sometimes even 2. Yeah. And it's like, when looking back, it's like, how the hell have I read about 9 books or 10 books already this year? Do you know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of the time it's just building that habit and getting over that curve where it's like, this is boring, and you start to enjoy, or you're just used to it. Like, I don't go a day without reading a book or reading a couple chapters. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? Or like, even if you don't necessarily want to read a whole book, like, just read something, because like my mum from young, bro, my mum's always told me like knowledge is power. Once it's in your head, no one can extract it out of you, innit? So even if I'm not reading a book, like the book that I'm studying, as I said, I'm reading something, whether it's a post on LinkedIn, whether it's the Financial Times, whether it's Bloomberg, I'm just reading something that's educational, or something that's going to provide value, something I'm going to learn from.
Well, and one thing as well, like audiobooks as well is another way, even if you don't like actually having physical books, you can legit just like listen to it all. Yeah. And even like for me, that's why I love podcasts as well. And I legit just got this trick not too long ago, like listen to podcasts on 1.5 speed. Like it halves the whole thing.
It's a pattern.
Like I be going through like 3 podcasts a day.
It's
Like,
pants,
it legit just splits it all, and you're still getting the
Yeah.
same information. And there's just so much knowledge out there that like it just helps so much. And there's something
Yeah.
you'll always learn, or something that you'll be reminded of from like listening to a
Yeah.
podcast or reading.
But I think there's one thing reading it, yeah. So you can read something, but you may not necessarily absorb the information. It's going back. So like read it, digest it, write notes, go back and like revise your notes. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's something that definitely works for me as well. It's something
Definitely.
that
I
do.
think just off the back of that, like, I really kind of do want to encourage like the listeners just to build that habit, whether it's reading, writing. Like we're in a new month now.
Yeah.
Like we said, 21 days to build a habit. Just try it. And you know how I talk about don't break the chain from Atomic Habits is legit. Like once you kind of get into that flow of state where you're constantly ticking the box or crossing out a date on your calendar, like, okay, cool, I did this today, I did this today.
Yeah.
You start to notice, you start to build that discipline, but also that motivation where you don't want to break the chain, where you're so used to doing it that you'll be disappointed if you break that streak. Do you know what I mean? Like that's me on the Bible app.
Yeah.
Like when I kind of see the days building up, it's like, I don't want it to go back to zero. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even like, for example, for me, I messed up one day and it went back to zero.
Yeah.
And it was so hard for me to get back into it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what helps me with my consistency, because it's like once you kind of build that momentum, you don't want to break the momentum, because a lot of the time all you need is like strategy and momentum to get you to where you are. So when you kind of build that habit and that discipline and you're trying not to break the chain, it just keeps you going further and further as well.
Just on that note of discipline, I was watching something. I came across it on Instagram. There's one guy, I can't remember his name. But basically he said like, if you want to achieve something, if you want to stay disciplined, Jay, he said, get a blank piece of paper. He said, write down your goals, what you want to achieve. He's like, fold it up. And in a couple months, periodically check it in it. So check it every couple of months and ask yourself, how much traction are you making towards them goals? And he basically said, like, if you're not making any sort of traction, you're basically a dickhead. That is like pretty much what he said. Do you know what I'm saying? But like on the note of discipline, so I thought that was quite cool. So I had to share that. But like on the note of discipline, like discipline can start from the smallest things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the first thing I do when I wake up is pray and make my bed. Do you know what I'm saying? It's those little wins that set the tone for the day. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just about planting seeds, and those seeds will flourish and grow the more you water them and nurture them and stuff. But it's an excellent segue into my next point actually. What are some of the things that keep you disciplined? Or what's some of the things that you do to maintain discipline?
Yeah, definitely. I think the don't break the chain method, the having deadlines and being accountable, and actually understanding that I'm letting myself down if I'm not keeping to it. And I think a very interesting quote as well from David Goggins is like, the mind gives up when the body is only like at 40%.
Yeah.
And that to me is so interesting, knowing that there's kind of that mental threshold that you got to push through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And a lot of the time, like, people give up right before they kind of get to that stage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's actually just pushing through and staying disciplined, and just seeing the kind of positives of staying disciplined.
Yeah.
That kind of also helps me as well. And I guess it's just building a habit, because eventually, like we said, after 21 days, it becomes second nature. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, one thing is just knowing I don't want to let myself down, and seeing how much it will benefit me in the long run. So paying that little price has such a great ROI and return on investment. If you know what I mean.
My things is obviously small wins in it. You know, get the low hanging fruits, fam, and just set the tone for the day. But then it's also the just my thought process as well. My thing is just like, fuck it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? I might as well just do it anyway. As long like I'm capable. I'm the same. I bleed the same blood as everyone else. Why can my man do it? If I, do you know what I'm saying? So I didn't even say it properly. If my man can do it, I can do it as well. So fuck it, I'm just gonna do it anyway. And it's just like, for me, I've been swearing bare in this episode, but I really do have a fucking mentality. It's just like, do you know what I'm saying? As long as I'm breathing, my heart's beating, I'm gonna go for it. Do you know what I'm saying? And then also, it's always taking it back to big picture. What am I striving for? Like, every day, bro, I think about the things I want to achieve. I think about my future, the sort of life I want to have. And that is my driving force. Every time I feel like I don't want to get out of bed. So, for example, one thing that I do and I hate, is I'll wake up, but I'll lie in bed for a second. You know what I'm saying? But now I've started to just wake up, get out of bed and get cracking.
As soon as possible.
Best thing I've done, bro.
Yeah.
Like...
That's also building a habit as
yeah.
well.
And like something I say is carpe diem, obviously it's lighting for seize the day. And bro, you got to stretch the pack out of the days, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you're not careful, you can really just waste them. So I guess in short is small wins, seizing the day and just having a fuck it mentality.
No,
like if my man can do it, if my girl can do it, then I can do it. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. How do you stay motivated, Manny?
Got to speak to the mic, man. Yeah.
Like he said, I feel like obviously just having that long-term goal in mind and you get me, like I've got to do it mentality. But I feel like of recently, I've been keeping disciplined in like new ways. And I feel like that includes kind of speaking to myself differently. I feel like before, when I'd fuck up, I wouldn't do what I was supposed to in the day. It'd be like, you're a piece of shit. Like, why would you get me?
Yeah.
Like, you've got this to do. Why are you letting yourself down? X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But now I see it as, you know what? Today didn't go to plan, but tomorrow I've got a new opportunity to get right.
Exactly.
And I feel like ever since I've changed my perspective, I'm getting it right a lot more.
Yeah.
Because I'm just being kind. Do you get me?
I think that self-talk is so important, man. I think it's so important to be kind to yourself. I think, a lot of people are very, very hard on themselves. Well, like you said, like, if you don't do a task, it's like the end of the world. But understanding that you have another opportunity to do it and make sure you seize the day and stuff like that. So I'm definitely with you. And another thing that's helped me as well, I just started kind of putting post-it notes on my wall and like a vision board and stuff. So I'm legit seeing it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it's so important that you see it, or else it's like just somewhere in your head. But like it's hard for you to keep track of it, if you know what I mean.
Another thing that I have in my background, it says do more in it.
Yeah, I know.
So if I'm
funny enough, mine
I think we've all got the same thing. I've got discipline or regret.
Yeah, mine is this is pointless, so stay the course. So I think having those reminders are great cues as well.
Exactly. So if I look at this now, I think, what have I done today? Is there more to do? And I'll do more. Do you know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. I think that's so instead of having a selfie of yourself, just put a reminder there. And even I have some friends as well who legit put their to-do list there as well, their goals, so you can see it as soon as you pick up your phone, because the phone is one thing you look at the most. Do you know what I mean? So
I was listening to something. I think it was Steve Harvey, I believe. He basically said, like, if you're striving for better, like, try and embody that the best way you can, basically. So the example that he gave was, you know, if like basically go and try on a nice expensive pair of trainers, because subconsciously you're changing your mindset to now.
I say all the time, that's your activating system, man.
And obviously you done a similar thing. Exactly, do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I think that was one of the best things that I did. I think, and for those listening, like a few weeks ago, I just went over to Mayfair, viewed like 2 mansions over in Mayfair. All like 6-bedroom houses, indoor swimming pool, all that kind of stuff. And then went over to Rolls Royce as well. And I think you got to see it. You got to see it to achieve it. Do you know what I mean? 100%. You actually have to imagine yourself in that position to achieve it, or else it's just foreign to you. Do you know what I mean? When you kind of understand that this is something at arm's reach, and like it's legit outside my doorstep. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm in this place right now. It kind of helps you activate in a sense. And like one thing I say all the time, and I think I'm sure I've said this before so many times on the podcast, but is your RAS is part of your brain, and it's like where have you ever noticed that if you, for example, you like a car, so this was me with the Bentley truck all the time. Like I really like the Bentley truck, and I start to see it everywhere. But it's like, why is my brain now focusing on it every time it drives past? Do you know what I mean? Have you ever seen it? Like, there's a car you like, or there's a coat that you like, and you just start seeing everyone wearing it all of a sudden. It's because that's what your mind is focusing on now. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you got to see it for you to kind of really achieve it, man.
I done the same thing in final year, innit? Obviously, with the car I got now, Bro, I watched the same car review like probably over 100 times, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I was like, when I finish, that's what I'm getting. Do you know what I mean? And I'm even having it now, bro. My next car, bro, I keep seeing it. I'm like, brother. Like,
and that's the thing. I think like it's so important that you kind of, I think Steve Harvey might have said this as well, but it's
Yeah.
one of the quote of the days where like you focus on the what and the how will figure itself out. Do you know what I mean? You just need to fully commit to the what.
Exactly.
And like really believe in it and really
Yeah.
understand what it is. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Once it's clear what the what is, you just kind of find your way there somehow.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Somehow
word.
the universe, God, Earth, whatever
Yeah.
would just bring it all together. Do you know what I mean? And you just find
Exactly.
yourself in that position over time as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely
Crazy.
with you on that. But before we go, big shout out to my guy Manny. I
Come
want
on.
you to impart us with some knowledge.
Yeah, man.
What is one of your biggest lessons right now that you're learning?
I feel like, interestingly enough, it goes back to what you lot were saying at the beginning when you were talking about balance.
Yeah.
I feel like like I was saying to you in the car, I've been trying to find that balance. I want to go out. I want to do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you really, really want to just do what you need to get done what you want to get done, I do feel like there's a time for everything.
Yeah.
You do have to focus on getting your shit done
Yeah.
first. And time's not running away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I definitely agree.
Prioritize.
Yeah.
Get me? Obviously, don't go into one crazy rabbit hole and stop talking to everyone and shit.
Yeah.
Or not. Be disciplined, but definitely be disciplined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely
sacrifice
something for me.
plays a huge part. Man.
Yeah.
I
Sacrifice
think
is key.
for me, one thing, not that I try and avoid it, but is I know if I was to cut certain things off, I'd be in a total different space.
Yeah.
But once again, is that balance, you know what I mean? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you want to live a life that you enjoy, but you also need to know that sometimes
Yeah.
you just got to put all the fun to the side
Yeah.
and just get
focus.
things, just focus, lock in. So I think
100%.
it's definitely kind of finding that balance. And luckily, I kind of see things in seasons. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know once the sun's away or once the season's kind of done, or even now, like we were saying in the car, like August, gonna give ourselves that head start because everyone starts to lock in at September. But now I'm trying to tie things up and really hit the ground running for this next season as well. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like you said, man, understanding that sometimes you have to sacrifice, sometimes you might need to miss out on things, but it's just
It's not hard to sacrifice, bro. If you're in London, there's motives every week.
Yeah.
It's not hard to just sack off
I
1
guess
week.
it's
of
getting over
motives, do you know what I'm
FOMO, man.
saying?
I think it's
Exactly,
understanding
yeah,
that
that's-
if you're not there,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
You're not
Do you know
gonna
what I mean?
die.
Yeah, you're not
Exactly.
gonna die.
No,
Like,
that's true.
it's
It's
legit.
definitely true. I also even like understanding too that there's also other people that want to be in the same position.
Yeah.
So, for instance, say you're looking for a certain client, someone else also wants that certain client too.
Exactly.
So if you're chilling back, if you're laid back, you're partying, you can do that. You can enjoy yourself, but you can only kick
it's at the
yourself.
cost of something else,
exactly.
yeah.
You've only got yourself to blame.
For
so
sure.
Yeah.
I feel like obviously thinking about things that way too. It's just that little bit of urgency that you need to make sure you're getting
Word.
shit done like
Facts.
you should be. You know what I
Facts,
mean?
not amazing. So we always end with like a word or quote of the week. So what would you say your word or quote of the week is?
My word of quote of the week is, you should have warned me.
Nah, we always got to put you on the spot.
Stay disciplined or forever have regrets.
Yeah, word. I
That's
love
it.
Go with
that.
that one.
That's
Before
hard.
we go though, because I know you, Mr. Incognito, do you want to introduce yourself or should we leave it? Do you want to shout yourself out or should we leave it?
No, not yet. I feel like there'll be the time where you get
Okay.
me, come to sit down and we'll have a proper conversation.
Say no more.
You get me?
no
But
more.
till then, pending. But till then,
Nah, I love it. I appreciate that. But there you have it, folks.
That's it.
Thank you for listening.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
everyone. We're back now, like we said, back
That's
to
it.
business.
That's it.
Playtime's over. We appreciate everyone who's always listening and rocking with us
Yeah, man.
and supporting us. As always, like, share, subscribe.
That's
Make
it.
sure to focus on things that move the needle.
There you have it. Bow.
Bow.